Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Hello. I hope all of you are doing well. I am good. How are you? Okay, Amit. That's good. Thank you. So, good evening, Mahesh. Thank you. Okay, so good evening and welcome, everyone. So, this is our fifth day of discussion of the current affairs, the daily current affairs. And in the previous few, like in the last four sessions, we have seen some of the important topics. Like last day, we have talked about population and people. Prior to that, we have also talked about the different issues. Like if we talk about the LGBTQ issue, we have also talked about this. We have seen some of the topics, like some of the prelims related topic also, and some mains oriented topic also. Okay. So this is one thing. This is one thing that we have been doing in the last 4 days, and today again we have come with some of the topics. Although if you see, Friday is one such day in which you will find that the number of topics in the Hindu is slightly lesser. Even in Indian Express, you will find that on Friday generally there are lesser number of topics. So this is one day. Suppose that you are not finding anything in newspaper, you should be using that day for revising the previous topics. Like I have told you, even in the classes and in all other sessions, I have told you that there are 2 days in week when you don't get those current affairs or when you don't get those topics. So on that day, try to revise the previous ones. Try to go through the previous topics which you have read in the last 1 week. Try to revise them. It is not just necessary to just keep on adding new topics or new themes. The revision of these topics is also very much important. In this entire session, in this entire week, whenever we have discussed any new topic, we have discussed also that how you can utilize this, how you can use this. Like last day also, when we were talking about this people and population, we have seen that what you can make use of it, how you can use it in your examination. So this is one thing. For using it, you will need to revise it multiple times. If you have revised it multiple times, then only you can be using them in the mains answer writing or any other way. In essay also you can use them. Okay, so good evening and welcome everyone. Now, so what are the topics that we have to see today? We have got three topics here. Two from we have been able to discuss generally three topics only. So we have taken three topics here. One of the topic is Zika virus. Okay, so this is one topic, and dengue virus, which were both in news in the newspaper today. And these are those topics which are almost continuously there, in the news articles, in the newspapers. And this is something which you have to read for every year. For every year examination, you have to go through at least dengue, chikungunya, or Zika virus, or some of the common things. Like even for malaria, you will have to read what is malaria, how it is caused, what impact it has. So there are some common disease which is regularly there in the newspapers. So today we have taken two of them, Zika virus and dengue virus. And then we are also going to talk about one of the issue, that is BIMSTEC. Okay. So this is something which we are going to discuss from the orientation of prelims also plus mains also. This one topic will be more of prelims oriented, and this is also something which is going to be more of prelims oriented. So these are the topics which we are going to take in today's session. Yeah. Okay. So let's start the session. Can you tell me, one thing? What is common between dengue virus or dengue and Zika? What is common between these two? What is the common element between these two viruses, dengue and Zika? What is the common thing between them? Culex mosquito? Don't get confused. Don't get confused. Culex. Culex mosquito is not. Then you have this option, Aedes aegypti. Okay. That is Aedes aegypti. That is Aedes aegypti mosquito, which is the common link between them. Okay. We will see them. We will see them. Both of them have a common vector. First of all, let's start with this Zika virus. Okay. So, what is the news article here? The news article is the need to improve surveillance and vector control. Okay. So, it is about Zika virus. What is the need to improve the surveillance and the vector control? This is something which has been discussed here in this article. So, we are going to discuss about this article in a bit detail, that what is Zika, how it has originated, from where it has come up, how it is passed from one portion to one person to another portion, and what is the impact of it. Is it too much dangerous, or what is the impact? Let us see that. Yeah. So see, basically this is a mosquito-borne virus which was first identified in rhesus monkey. Okay. It was identified not first in human but in rhesus monkey in 1947. Okay. So it was identified first in a rhesus monkey in 1947 in African region. Okay. So that is the first point. It is not something of Indian origin, it is something of African origin. In Africa, in monkeys, it was first identified. Then by the 1950s, by the early 1950s, like 1952, 1953, it became common even in humans. So what happened that the Zika virus jumped from the monkeys to the humans. So it is something which has jumped from monkeys to the humans. So this is one part. It has come from rhesus monkey, and from there it has gone to humans. From there it has gone to humans. So the origin of this virus is from the rhesus monkey, and then from here it has jumped to the humans. Now at the same time, how it is spreading, how it is being passed from one person to another person, how it is getting spread. Yeah. So it is getting spread primarily through a mosquito which is called as Aedes mosquito or Aedes aegypti mosquito. So this is a Aedes aegypti mosquito, and this Aedes aegypti mosquito is responsible, for passing on this Zika virus from one person to another person. Like suppose one person has been infected from this Zika virus, so from that person to another person it is going to be passed via a mosquito, and that mosquito is Aedes aegypti. Okay. Now there is one more thing. It is the one mosquito which is also responsible for dengue as well as chikungunya. Okay. So that is the common link between Zika, the chikungunya, or even dengue. They have a common vector. They are called as vector. They are called as vector. Okay. So they are called as vector, and this is the common vector for this dengue also, chikungunya also, and also for Zika virus. Okay. So first thing is how it has originated, where it has originated, and from which animal it has been passed on to animals. Okay. Now if we talk about this Zika virus, there are other modes of there is one thing we generally see, that Aedes mosquito which is biting during the time of the daytime. During the daytime it is biting, not in the night, it is biting in the daytime. Okay. It is active during the daytime, and then it bites the people, and from there it is spreading to one person to another person. Now one more thing, there are other methods of transmission also. This can also be passed from one person to another person through sexual intercourse. Okay. So there is sexual transmission also. There is also transmission from mother to the fetus and transfusion of blood and blood products. Okay. So from the it can be passed during the sexual intercourse. It can be passed from the mother to the fetus. Fetus means the child which is there in the uterus. Okay. So it is passed from mother to the fetus also, and at the same time it can also be passed by the transfusion of blood or blood products. Like suppose that if someone is getting RBC or platelets or anything like that, or plasma, so from that portion also it can be transmitted from one person to another person. Okay. So these are also the modes of transmission, how it is getting transmitted from one person to another person. So that is the second thing. Now, if we talk about this, like what will happen if a person is infected, if a person has been infected by this Zika virus, so what is going to happen next? Is there going to be any impact? The, the impact is, just a second. So if a person is impacted by Zika virus, then the symptoms will be visible after 3 to 14 days. Now, Zika is not a very much deadly disease as compared to the dengue or any other like chikungunya. It is not very much deadly for normal adult. Okay. So, these symptoms typically start 3 to 14 days. And what will be the symptoms? The symptoms can be mild or rashes, fever, conjunctivitis, muscle, joint pain, headache, etc. Okay. So, for almost 2 to 7 days, means for almost a week, there will be some mild symptoms of it. Many of the persons who are infected with Zika, they will not even notice that they have been infected by Zika. That is the main challenge, that many of the persons who are infected by this, they will not even notice it. They will not even get this idea that they are infected by Zika, because it is going to have a very mild symptom. It is going to have a very mild symptom like headache or fever. So this is something which we face almost on like a monthly basis. Sometimes we are having this fever, headache, or running noses, or conjunctivitis, or anything like that. So this is a very common symptom, a very mild symptom. So many people do not even realize that they have been getting this infection of Zika virus. Now, most people are not even going to develop the symptoms. Okay. Like in some cases, the symptoms may develop. In many of the cases, even the symptoms will not develop. So Zika for adult persons, they are not very much harmful. It is not like it will cause some death of the people or anything like that. In adult people, it is very rare that it can cause some problem in the body. But then why this Zika is important? Why this Zika is dangerous? See, the challenge is we are not able to diagnose it. We are not able to diagnose it. We have an institution, the Central Drug Standard Control Organization. The Central Drug Standard Control Organization. So this is the one which is responsible for approval of any test or any medicine or vaccine in India. So this is the organization which is responsible for approving diagnosis or approving medicine, vaccine, etc. So this is the one Central Drug Standard Control Organization which is responsible for it. And according to this organization, there are no approved diagnostic test for Zika in India. There is no such test which can be used for like diagnosing the cases of Zika virus. There are no such tests. So then how do we come to know that there is Zika cases in India? How do we come to know about it, like people are suffering from Zika virus or not? In this case, basically samples are being sent to a few select laboratories across India, like National Institute of Virology. Okay. So some samples are being sent to our institutions or some of the labs of National Institute of Virology, and from there it is being confirmed that whether it is a Zika case or not. So the challenge here is we have very limited number of labs for confirming the Zika cases, for confirming Zika. That is one of the challenge, that we are having very few number of labs which can confirm that people are suffering from Zika virus. So this is also one of the challenge, that we do not have the labs in India. Okay. Then, is there any treatment or vaccine? The thing is, right now no such vaccine or treatment is available for it. There is no such availability of any such vaccine or any such treatment method for this treatment of Zika virus. There is no such vaccine. Normally the people stay at their home. There is no such harsh or there is no such severe symptoms. Normally they stay at home, they drink a lot of water, they take some of, like, normally you know that Indian people are homemade doctors. We are homemade doctors. We do not even have to consult doctor. So majority of the people, what they do, they become the doctor themselves. They get some medicine from the market, they use it, they get rid of the symptoms, and within 2 or 7 days most of the people recover from it. Okay. So this is also one of the challenge, that there is no such treatment or vaccine yet which is available for treatment of Zika virus infection. Leave the treatment, there is no such diagnosis for this Zika virus. There is no such diagnosis option for this Zika virus, that how you can diagnose it. So there is not even such diagnosis for this Zika virus. Now, then there is another thing. What is the impact? Are there any such impact of it? Is it going to cause any harm? So the impact is, it can cause infant to be born with microcephaly and other congenital malformation. Okay. So what can happen, that if we talk about the small children, if we talk about the infants, they can face this challenge. They can face this challenge, like they can have some birth defect. This congenital in malformation means birth defect, or the defects which are present at the time of birth of a baby. Yeah. Like there can be some issues in the body organs or anything like that. Yeah. So like you see, sometimes the children are born with a hole in their heart, or a problem with some of their organs. So that is called as congenital disease. So what is happening here, that when we talk about the Zika virus, it impacts the infants, or those who are going to be born, So it can cause infants to be born with microcephaly or other congenital malformation. What is microcephaly? Microcephaly is basically a condition in which an infant head is smaller than what is typical for their age. Okay. So their brain size is not fully developed. Brain size is smaller. Brain size is smaller than usual. So this is the challenge, that if an infant is born and if that infant has been infected by this Zika virus, you can see at the beginning, if they have got this microcephaly, then their entire life is going to be disturbed. That is the challenge of Zika virus. It is not impacting the adults, but it is impacting the infants which are getting born. It is impacting those infants which are getting born. Okay. So this is the reason that Zika is a matter of concern. You know that in our country, like you know the population of India, and you know that how many children are how many children are taking birth every year. You know that is more than population of many countries. So think about it. If many of them are getting infected, it means we are going to get those childs whose brain is not properly developed. They are going to face this issue throughout their lifetime. So that's why Zika is a matter of concern for us. It is not impacting the larger population. It is not impacting the adult population. So it is largely being ignored in India. But the challenge is, this is impacting the future or the upcoming generation. Okay. So that is one of the challenge. At the same time, around 5 to 15% of infants born to women infected with Zika virus during pregnancy have evidence of Zika related complications. Okay. So it is in higher number, like 5 to 15% of the infants of those women who have been infected by Zika, they have got some complications. So it is a high number. You can see normally in COVID cases or in all other virus cases, what we see, the impact is for 1 or 2% or even less than that. But here the impact is on 5 to 15% of the infants. So a large number of people are getting impacted, or a large number of infants are getting impacted due to this Zika virus. Okay. So this is the challenge. The challenge is for the new generation. The challenge is not for the existing, the new generations are impacted. Okay. Now, like you can see this example, this is the normal head size, but in the case of microcephaly, the head does not the head is not developing properly. So this is the example of normal head size, microcephaly and severe microcephaly. So what is the cause here? The cause is Zika virus or the women who are impacted by Zika virus. I hope it is clear. If you get something new, then you can make this, otherwise it is not necessary. If you get something new, that whether there is some treatment for it or not, whether there is diagnosis for it or not. So if there is something new, you can note it down, otherwise it's okay. Yeah. It is important for every examination, not just one examination. It is going to be important for all the examination. Yeah. It is going to be important for all the examination, whether it is state PCS or UPSC or CAPF or other things. It is going to be important for everything. Okay. Now, so this is our first such disease. Okay. There is one more thing. It is also associated with a syndrome which is called as Guillain-Barre syndrome. Guillain-Barre syndrome, basically it is a rare condition that causes a person's immune system attacks the peripheral nerve. Yeah. So there is a syndrome which is called as Guillain-Barre syndrome. Guillain-Barre syndrome. And what is happening here? That in this case, the immune system of the body, it is attacking the peripheral nerve. Now, what is this peripheral nerve? What is this peripheral nerve? This peripheral nerve is basically the nerves which connects the spinal cord and the brain with the rest of the body. Yeah. It is the nerve, the peripheral nerve is the nerve which connects the brain and the spinal cord with the rest of the body. So when it is impacting the peripheral nerve, it means all our body's sensory organs would not be able to impact properly. So it is connecting brain and spinal cord with body. Connects brain and spinal cord with body. With the rest of body. So what we see here, that it is connecting the brain and the spinal cord with the rest of the body. And in Guillain-Barre syndrome, what we are seeing that the immune system of the body is going to attack the peripheral nerve itself. So when they are getting destroyed or when they are getting impacted, it means the nervous system of the body will not be able to work properly, and in that case also there will be huge complication for the body. So that is also a situation in Guillain-Barre syndrome. The body will not be able to function smoothly. So this is also an impact of Zika virus. So what we have seen, on one hand we have seen microcephaly, on the other hand we have also seen that there is also Guillain-Barre syndrome. Apart from that, other congenital diseases can also happen. Congenital diseases means the diseases which are caused at the time of the birth. So this is the complications of Zika virus. This is how the Zika virus is impacting. Okay. Like you can see this example in Guillain-Barre syndrome, the limb will not be proper, or the limb will be weaker. Okay. Then difficulty in swallowing something, shortness of breath, flaccid paralysis. Paralysis can also happen. Okay. So these nerves which are connecting the different part of the body with the spinal cord or the brain, they are called as peripheral nerves. And when these when this Guillain-Barre syndrome is there, in that case, it is not well protected or the nerve fibers are getting exposed. Okay, and in that case, there will be a lot of challenges like we can see here. So this is Guillain-Barre syndrome, a rare disorder in which body's immune system is impacting this nerves of the body. Okay. So this is one thing. Congenital malformation means the malformations or the problems which happen at the time of the birth. Anything which is happening at the time of birth, that is called as congenital malformation. The notes of this is made available on the Telegram of KGS, so you can take it from there also. Okay. Now, so let's come to the next one, dengue virus. Now, just like this Zika, we have another brother of this Zika, and that is dengue virus. If we talk about this dengue virus, now what is happening, that dengue is spreading at an alarming rate throughout the world. It is spreading at a very alarming rate throughout the world. Okay. So now what has been said, like if we talk about India, India has recorded 19,447 cases. 19,447 cases of dengue this year. Okay. In that, what we see, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, in these states, the number of dengue virus is increasing. Once upon a time, Delhi was known as the dengue capital. In the Delhi region, there was huge number of dengue cases. But now what we see, that the states like Kerala and Tamil Nadu and even Karnataka, they have got huge number of dengue cases now. Okay. So dengue is spreading throughout the world now. It is spreading across, like it is spreading its boundaries. It is spreading in all the tropical and subtropical regions of the world. Okay. So this is one thing, what we see, that this virus is mostly concentrated in tropical and subtropical regions of world. Okay. Second thing, what we see, that like in the case of Zika, we have seen that it has come from rhesus macaque monkey. Now here also it is believed that it has come from a primate. Okay. It has also come from a primate, ape or monkey, but the actual primate is not identified till now. It has not been identified till now that from where it has started. So this is one thing. Dengue, it is believed that it has started from some primates, but now it is spread all over the world in the tropical and subtropical areas, but we don't know the actual beginning point from where it has started. So that is one of the part. Now, right now what we can see, according to World Health Organization, around 7.6 million cases of dengue has been reported in 2024. So we are just in half of this 2024, and in this half of the year, we have got something around 7.6 million cases across the world. So this is one of the part that we are getting huge number of cases, not just in India, but across the world also of dengue. It has also led to death of around 3,000 people. 16,000 have been severe cases, and across the world there has been death of 3,000 people. So dengue is something which is a deadly virus. Zika is harmful for the upcoming generation, but dengue is harmful for all the people. It is harmful for all the people. So what is happening in dengue? Basically, here again we have the Aedes aegypti mosquito. Here again we have the same thing, Aedes aegypti mosquito. Okay. But remember one thing, the virus is not present inside the Aedes aegypti mosquito. It becomes a carrier. It is a vector or it is a carrier. It is basically a carrier of it. So suppose that there is a person who is infected. Suppose that this is a person who is infected by this virus. So now this mosquito bites this person. This mosquito has bitten this person, and from there the mosquito goes and bite other people also. It is biting other people also. So when it is going from one person to another person, then it is causing the infection. So this Aedes aegypti is becoming a carrier of the virus, carrier of the dengue virus. So dengue is the virus and the carrier is Aedes aegypti mosquito, the common friend of Zika also as well as dengue also. So now if we talk about this dengue, it is transmitted to human. We have just seen this. Okay. First of all, if we talk about in India, if we talk about from when and where this dengue started. So in India, it is believed that in Vellore district in Tamil Nadu, it was reported first in 1956. Okay. In India, it was reported first in 1956 in Vellore in Tamil Nadu. Okay. Now, what are the factors which are contributing to its rise? Where it is increasing or where it is seen in higher number? Like I told you in the previous part also, that it is generally found in tropical and subtropical region. It is generally found in tropical and subtropical region. Tropical and subtropical region. See, what is happening? Just look across the globe. If you look across the globe, you will find that what are the tropical regions? It is the regions of, if you look at the North and South America, it is the region of some parts of course, United States. Then this area of Mexico, the area of South America. Then if you come there, we have the area of Africa, and then you have the area of this entire Asian region. So it is basically, you will find the regions of Asia, the regions of Africa, and also some part of South America as well as North America. This is the region, this is the location, the tropical location, and you will find that majority of the country in these locations are developing countries. Majority of the country, leave aside United States, but majority of the other countries are developing nations. And they have semi-urban areas, those semi-urban areas where there is a lot of water logging or there is a lot of waste material accumulation and all other things, which becomes a breeding ground for the Aedes aegypti mosquito. Okay. This becomes a breeding ground for the Aedes aegypti mosquito. It is not usually found in the village areas, because in village area you will find that there is little chances of this water logging. A lot of open fields are there. Water gets easily, water is moving easily from one place to another place. So there is not that much of waste material, there is not that much of rotten water or water logging in the rural areas. In the urban settlements, and where there is a lot of what you can say, waste material accumulation, in these areas we see the rise of the Aedes aegypti mosquito. We see the rise of the Aedes aegypti mosquito. And Aedes aegypti mosquito is the one which is spreading it at a very high rate. It is spreading this at a very high rate. So this human activities, urbanization, and also the climate change has been said as a factor. Climate change has facilitated some erratic rainfall. It has also led to intense amount of heat, and that has, and even the rise of humidity, that has led to more growth of this Aedes aegypti mosquito. So for Aedes aegypti mosquito, climate change is bringing the favorable result. They are happy with the climate change. So their number is growing, and due to their rapid growth, due to the faulty urbanization in the developing nations, now these Aedes aegypti mosquitoes have got all the favorable conditions, and this helps them to grow at an alarming rate, and when they are there, they will also be spreading this virus at a high rate. So this dengue is spreading at a very high rate. Now, I told you in the beginning, dengue is something which causes huge problem for the body. Problem like there is dengue shock syndrome. Yeah. So in this thing, or dengue hemorrhagic fever. So in normal, what we have seen in Zika, people have mild fever. But in case of dengue, there is very high fever going up to 103, 104 or even higher degrees. So in this case, there is dengue hemorrhagic fever, or also known as dengue shock syndrome. So there is very high fever which we witness in the case of dengue. So very high fever. Second thing is signs of plasma leakage. Okay. So what is happening? You know that in our blood we have plasma, we have the red blood cell, white blood cells, we have platelets and all other things. So what we see that in the case of this dengue virus, in the case of impact of dengue virus, the plasma which is there inside the blood vessels, it gets leaked. There is leakage of plasma. It gets accumulated in the chest and abdomen, which can lead to shock, okay, which can cause health problem, which can lead to cardiac arrest also, or which can lead to other challenges. The other organs may not be able to work properly. So this is causing the leakage of plasma, and the leakage of plasma and accumulation of plasma in other organs of the body may cause inefficiency of the organs. Okay. So this can lead to inefficiency of organs, or even organ failure. So that is also one of the things. First we have seen very high fever. Second is organ inefficiency or organ failure can also happen. Third thing is impact on the platelets. Now you might have seen this, the most common thing what we see in dengue, that the platelet count become lower. In the case of dengue, we see that the platelets count become lower. So why does it become lower? Why the platelets are lesser in number during the dengue? So what is happening? There is basically our bone marrow. There is a thing called bone marrow. Bone marrow is having various stem cells. This bone marrow, it is having various stem cells, and the stem cells are responsible for making the platelets of the body. So during this dengue virus, the bone marrow is not able to perform efficiently. It impacts the bone marrow. It infects the bone marrow, and due to which the production of platelets decline. Okay. So this bone marrow is the area where we have this production of the platelets, and what is happening? This dengue virus is impacting our bone marrow. The stem cells are not able to divide properly. We do not have that much of platelets which is required. Okay. That is one thing. Second thing, virus can also cause increased destruction of platelets in the bloodstream. On one hand, it is stopping the bone marrow to produce the platelets. On the other hand, it is also destroying the platelets inside the blood. Okay. So it is harming the platelets from both ends. The production of new platelets, that is also restricted. On the other hand, what we see, the platelets in the blood, they are also being destroyed by the dengue virus. Okay. So as a result, there is one more thing. Now, since dengue is a virus and our body is a fighter, so now dengue has come inside the body immune system will start to act, and when the immune system of the body is acting, it leads to destruction of our own platelets as well. Okay. So when the immune system is triggered, when the immune system is fighting against this dengue virus, at that time even our platelets are getting destroyed. You can see this high fever is what? This high fever is also basically a response of the body. It is also basically a response of the body to eliminate out the dengue virus. But the dengue virus sustains and our body organs suffer. Yeah. So that is also a challenge. The platelet levels decline too much, and you know that when the platelet levels decline too much, it can lead to internal bleeding, it can lead to other complications, and eventually death of the person. So dengue virus is a killer virus. It can have multiple impact. It can have impact like very high fever. It can have impact like the inefficiency of the organ or the organ failure. It can also impact the platelet count in our body and ultimately can cause the death of the person. Okay. So that is the dengue. That is dengue. I hope it is clear. So see, Now the thing is there any treatment for this? Is there any method of treatment for this dengue virus? Now, right now what we see that maximum thing are supportive care. Most of the thing are supporting care, like maintaining the hydration, pain relief, etc. Okay. So we have got a number of supportive care. It is not like treatment. You know that like unlike bacteria are living organisms, so they can be killed. But when we talk about virus is not considered as a living organism. You know that. So when something is not living, it is not easy to kill them or it is not easy to remove them. In that case, we rely on the immune system of the body. In that situation, we rely on the immune system of the body, which can control the virus, So this is one of the things that we do not have any such treatment option for this dengue. We have the supportive care, like maintaining hydration, pain relief, etc. So this is one thing. Then monitoring for complication. Okay. If there is a critical phase of dengue, like if it has spread too much, if there is dengue hemorrhagic fever, then in that case, proper monitoring of the body vitals, that is also part of it. There is something like recently 2 dengue vaccines have been licensed. 2 dengue vaccines have been given the license, not in India but outside India it has been developed. One of them is Denguexia. And there is another one, Qdenga. Okay. So these 2 are vaccines which have been recognized or they have been developed, but this is in initial stage. And a lot of things has still to be done. Like WHO allows them, but for limited uses. It is not considered as a universal vaccine as of now. Okay. So these 2 vaccines have been developed, Denguexia and Qdenga. So there is some vaccine which is available for it. It has been even guaranteed by it has been allowed by WHO, but not for greater use. For limited use, it has been allowed, it has been recognized. So according to WHO website, now in some newspapers you will find that dengue vaccine is still not available. In some newspapers it may be written that dengue vaccine is still not available. But according to World Health Organization, these 2 are the vaccines which have been allowed for use, but on a limited scale. Okay. They have been allowed, but on a limited scale. Limited use by WHO. Okay. So this is our dengue virus. Okay, it may seem to you that bio class, Anjali, but the thing is, this is something which remains in current affairs. Dengue and Zika, both of them remain in this current affairs, so you have to read them. Okay. Now there is one more thing which is there. There is one thing called as Wolbachia. Okay. Wolbachia method has been there in the news for quite some time now. It has been there in the news for quite some time. So what is this Wolbachia method? Let me tell you in simple. Basically this is one of the process. This is a bacteria. And what we are using this bacteria for? We are using this bacteria to infect the mosquito. We are just trying to infect the mosquito. Which mosquito will be infected? Which will be infected? The Aedes aegypti. The Aedes aegypti mosquito. They are going to be infected by this Wolbachia bacteria. Wolbachia bacteria is going to make them sterile. It is going to make them sterile. So this is one of the method. Wolbachia is a method which will be used to infect the mosquito to make them sterile. Make them sterile means they will not be able to reproduce or they will not be able to make their generation forward. Okay. So if if suppose that if male has been infected, it means even if they are mating with the female mosquito, even if they are mating with the female mosquito, they will not be able to produce. If female has been infected, suppose that they have mated with a male Aedes aegypti mosquito, then after mating, the new mosquito which will be there, now it will be carrying the Wolbachia infection or Wolbachia, this gene of the Wolbachia, and hence in the future they will not be able to produce. So whether it is being supplied to male or female, in both the cases after a few generations they will not be able to develop or they will not be able to produce. Okay. So we are trying to curtail this Aedes aegypti mosquito by the help of a bacterium which is Wolbachia. Okay. So this is a bacteria which is normally found in butterflies, flies or other things. Okay. So this is a normal or natural bacteria which is being used to infect the mosquitoes, the Aedes aegypti, and once they are infected, they will not be able to make the future generation. So in that manner, mosquito will be reduced, and when the mosquitoes are reduced, it means if there are lesser number of mosquitoes, that will mean that in the future there will be lesser spread of the dengue, Zika, chikungunya and many other diseases. Okay. So with one simple thing, we can stop the spread of many such disease. So this is one thing from where you can again get a question in exam, that what is this Wolbachia method? This Wolbachia method is about making the Aedes aegypti sterile. Clear? At what is this Aedes? What is this Wolbachia method? I hope it is clear. Any doubt in this? Okay, so let's come to the next topic. The next one is related to our international relations. This is related to international relations. So see, recently you might have seen that Indian External Affairs Minister Mr. S. Jaishankar, he has visited Thailand for this Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation Summit. So recently there was a summit of this BIMSTEC. BIMSTEC stands for Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation. So that is the full form of BIMSTEC. Now BIMSTEC is made up of 7 countries. There are 7 countries in it. You can see this name is also of 7 letters and they have got 7 countries in here. Now some of them are matching with the name. Like you have here Bangladesh. You have here Bangladesh. Then you have also India. You have India also. You have Myanmar also. You have Myanmar also. You have Sri Lanka as well. Sri Lanka. Then you have Thailand. So then there are 5 countries and plus 2 more countries are there. Now these two countries are those countries which are not sharing the Bay of Bengal. Now if you look at all these 5 countries, Bangladesh is having linkage with Bay of Bengal directly. India is having linkage with Bay of Bengal directly. Myanmar is having linkage with Bay of Bengal directly. Sri Lanka is also having it. Thailand is also having it. But then there is one such country, there is 2 such countries, Nepal and Bhutan. Nepal and Bhutan, they are also part of it, but they do not touch the Bay of Bengal. So there is this one possibility that they might ask this in examination, that all the countries of BIMSTEC share its border with Bay of Bengal. So there are 2 countries which are not sharing the border, one being Nepal, you can see it is landlocked by India, and then again Bhutan, again the same thing, landlocked by India and China. So Nepal and China both are landlocked countries, they are not having direct linkage with Bay of Bengal, but they have been included in this BIMSTEC. They have been included in this BIMSTEC. Bay of Bengal Multi-Sectoral Initiative for Technical and Economic Cooperation. Yeah. Now, it was established in 1997 with the Bangkok Declaration. This is also one possibility. Sometimes in a state PCS exam or in UPSC also, they can ask you about the name of this, that through which declaration they have been formed. So remember this, it has been formed via the Bangkok Declaration. Where is the headquarter? Can any one of you tell me that where is the headquarter of this BIMSTEC? The secretariat of this BIMSTEC, where it is located? Where is the secretariat of this? Anyone, can you tell me? They have joined later on. They have joined later on. Where is the secretariat of this? Anyone of you who know? See, this was there in the news. Have you not read the current affairs or newspaper? India? No, not in India. It is not there in India. Again the same question, Priya. Jeet sir is taking the classes there. Okay, I think you have not read about this. I will take the class at Karol Bagh tomorrow, Govind, sorry. It is there in Dhaka, right? Anjali, you are right. It is there in Dhaka, in Bangladesh. Okay. So, BIMSTEC is one such organization which is having its secretariat in Dhaka, in Bangladesh. Okay. So, 7 countries are its member, established through Bangkok Declaration, secretariat in Dhaka. 5 countries share the border with Bay of Bengal, 2 countries are not sharing it. So, if you are looking from the prelims perspective, this is something which you have to know. Yeah. Now, there is one thing which you have to understand here. It is a home to about 1.5 billion people and a GDP of around 3.8 trillion. So, it is having a population of something around 1.5 billion, or you can see right now it can be 1.6 billion also, and GDP of something around 4 trillion. Something of 4 trillion. Now you will find one more interesting part of it. Around 1.4 billion population is there in India, and out of this $4 trillion economy, roughly around $3 trillion economy is of India. Okay. So these all other countries, they are very smaller countries. The 6 countries together account for 0.1 billion population or 0.2 billion population. Then we have India as a country having 1.4 billion population. It is having a roughly a GDP of around 4 trillion. But there is one simple part. These out of these countries, India alone is having the GDP of near about $3 trillion. Okay. So these are all other smaller countries. Now the question is, why it has been formed? Why it has been formed? Why we have got this Bay of Bengal multi-sectoral initiative? Why we have got this? The thing is, it has been developed as an alternative. It has been developed as an alternative to another organization, and that organization is SARC. Okay. Alternative to SARC. I hope you know about SARC. I hope you know about SARC also. SARC is basically a group of countries of South Asia, including India, Pakistan, Afghanistan. Okay. So that is SARC countries. SARC countries are again a group of countries of the South Asia. But due to the friction between India and Pakistan, this group is almost a dead group. This group is almost a dead group. So an alternative was developed, and that alternative was BIMSTEC. This BIMSTEC, it was considered as an alternative for this SARC, that okay, we may not be having good relations with Pakistan, but we can have good relations with other countries in this region, including Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar, Sri Lanka, Thailand, India, okay, so Bangladesh also. So for this purpose, we have got this BIMSTEC as an alternative. Second thing is, you will find one more aspect. The South Asia is least integrated or least connected zone of world. Least connected zone of world. Yeah. We do not have good connections, or you can say that like highways or railways or any other means of transport between these countries. Okay. It is one of the least integrated or least connected zones of the world. You can see if you look at this entire geography, by geography these areas are connected. By geography you will find that these areas are connected, whether it is Sri Lanka, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Thailand, India. Geographically they are connected, but politically it is the least connected zone of the world. Geographically, if you see from the above, you will find that this entire area is one zone, one location. But politically it is so much separated, so much fragmented and very least integrated. So economy and all other things in this area are hugely impacted, or economy or trade is very less. All of these countries, they are doing trade with rest of the world, but their internal trade is not very high. Their internal trade is not very high, even when they are like geographically connected to each other. The land mass is same. The land mass is same. Like think about this, Bangladesh is one part of India itself. It used to be a part of India itself, but now it is not having that much connectivity with India. Why? Because it is a different border and the relations have not been very much amicable. Yeah. So that is one of the challenge, that this entire region is least integrated. So this is one thing, that South Asia is least connected zone of the world, and that's why this BIMSTEC was started, that we will try to have some regional cooperation and integration of the region. We will try to have regional cooperation and integration in this region. There is another factor. If you look at these entire countries, the 7 countries, you will find that they have ancient and cultural similarity. They have ancient and cultural similarity. Look at any of the country in this region, whether it is Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Myanmar, India, you will find that they are like linked with each other. Historically also, culturally also, they are linked with each other. They have some common elements in them. They have been historically connected as well. But even after that, we see that these are least integrated. So there was also one plan that we will try to harness this cultural integration of the region. There will be more cultural exchange and everything which can take place in this entire region. So that was also one of the aim of this BIMSTEC, that we will try to mix this region, or we will try to like have more connectivity in this region. That is also one of the aim here. Okay. Now, at the same time, there was another angle. And that was like we are trying to have more economic cooperation in this region. We are trying to have more economic cooperation in this entire region. Okay. So that is also one of the part. We are trying to have economic cooperation, and especially blue economy. Okay. Now think about this. BIMSTEC stands for Bay of Bengal. BIMSTEC stands for Bay of Bengal. Means we can utilize the power of blue economy here. Do you know what is blue economy? Anyone? Can you tell me what is this blue economy? Anyone? What is blue economy? Yes, for economic cooperation, here you can take one fact of market and then blue economy also. So what is this blue economy? The economy which is related to ocean resources, means the economy which is based on oceans, its resources, tourism, each and every part. Blue economy is something which means that it has each and everything related to this portion, Yeah. Fishing also, everything which is based on water, that is basically our blue economy part. So with the help of this, we can also have economic cooperation, we can have development of the market here, and we can also harness the power of blue economy. At the same time, we can also look at one more angle, and that angle is more of India favorable angle, that countering Belt and Road Initiative of China. Countering Belt and Road Initiative of China. Countering Belt and Road Initiative of China. That is also something which is required for us. Like China has been expanding in this entire region. So if we are trying to have regional integration in this area, then we can counter the rise of this Belt and Road Initiative of China. So that is also one of the aim here. That is also one of the objective here. Okay. So with all these objectives, this BIMSTEC has been started. But what we see right now, that there is a lot of challenge for this BIMSTEC. Challenge. The first and foremost challenge is, like if you look at this BIMSTEC right now, you will find that there is instability in Myanmar. Instability in Myanmar, also earlier in Sri Lanka. We have seen a few years back there was instability in Sri Lanka also. Right now there is instability in Myanmar as well. So there is one of the challenge in Myanmar and Sri Lanka. In both these regions there have been instability in the past. That is one of the part. Like if two members of this, and see from India's perspective, Myanmar was the link to Thailand, because from our northeastern states like Nagaland or Manipur, we can directly go into Myanmar, and from there we can go into the parts of Thailand. So that was the part of regional connectivity. But what we see right now, this entire region of Myanmar is closed. Why? There is instability in the region. There is no government. There is only rules of some of the gangs or some of the groups over there. Okay. So there is no one government in Myanmar. That is the challenge. Second thing is the physical connectivity. If we look at this region, the physical connectivity is still at minimal level. The physical connectivity still at minimum level. Okay. So what we see that, like suppose if we talk about the other countries, like we have this Bangladesh. So even with Bangladesh, we are not having very good connectivity even right now. Of course, something have been started. Some of the border areas have been opened. There is passing of goods and services all along this area. Okay, there is passing of goods, but again, it is not very well integrated region. Of course, due to this challenge of illegal migration and all other things. Okay, so that is also one of the challenge. Issues of illegal migration. illegal migration. That is also one of the challenge, that the countries have their own problems. Countries have their own problem. People are migrating from one part to another part. There is issue of illegal migration. There is also issue of smuggling, okay, human trafficking, smuggling, human trafficking, etc. Okay. So this issue across the border is still there. Why we are not having connectivity? One of the reason is this issue of illegal migrants, the human trafficking, smuggling, drugs. These all are moving across the borders. So that's why this area is not integrated. Okay. So this is also one of the part, and plus you will again see there is one more thing. Apart from India, all other countries are a smaller country, and they allege that India has a big brother attitude. Okay. So they are like India's relation with its neighboring countries are not at its best level. Okay. So India's relation with neighbor not at its best level. Not at its best level. Okay. So that is also a challenge. What we see that India's relation with these countries are not at its best level. Okay. So these are some of the challenges. Now we have seen what is BIMSTEC. We have also seen that what is this significance of BIMSTEC. Why this BIMSTEC is important for us. We have also seen the challenges of it. Now I am leaving one part of this topic to you. You have to write one part as comment later on. You can study about it, like what can be done or what should be done in order to overcome these challenges. What should be done in order to overcome these challenges. So that is one part which I am leaving for you in the next Monday class also, or you can write in the comment as well that what should be done in order to improve the relations between, in order to make this BIMSTEC more effective. So this is one part which I expect you to do. There is a question for you now. There is a question for you. In the present times, BIMSTEC is going through similar fate as that of SARC. Comment. So this is one thing which is a question for you. In the present times, BIMSTEC is going through similar fate as that of SARC. Okay. So try to write on this, and then we will meet on next Monday. Take classes of 2 hours. 2 hours will be too much. Okay. So let's meet on the next Monday then. It is not about the quantum of the topic. It is more about the quality of topic which we study. Like I told you, one simple thing. Even if you read one topic honestly in one day, in 365 days you are going to read 365 topics, and that is more than sufficient. There are no, like, even if we are covering one topic of mains daily, then you will find that in the upcoming year you will have at least 300 plus topic for mains. That is more than sufficient. Okay. So thank you so much, and let's meet in the next session on Monday. Yeah, right now it's today it's Friday. So we will meet again on Monday on 15th, and till then, take care and all the best. Thank you. Time for tomorrow offline class, I think it will be 12:30. As usual, it is 12:30. Okay, so thank you so much and all the best. Thank you.